Now, what kind of Southern girl would I be if I did not share with y'all an easy fried chicken recipe? So in today's Sunday dinner video, that's exactly what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be making some buttermilk fried chicken tenders the easy way. We are going to be cooking out of my cookbook again this Sunday. This is my cookbook, Repeat Worthy Dinners. Always linked down below. Look how good these look, y'all. They're super tender on the inside, super crispy on the outside. They're so easy to make as well. We're going to marinate them in some buttermilk and some spices and some hot sauce. And then here in a little bit, we're going to fry them up. It's going to be delicious. Let's get started. So for this recipe, I like to use chicken breast. You can use the chicken tenderloins as well. Just remove that little tenderloin piece. But we're gonna trim our chicken breast first, and then we're obviously gonna make them into strips, really however big you want. I like to do about an inch thick little strips, and this is what we're gonna get marinating. We just have a bowl over here. We're just gonna place our little chicken strips in the bowl. All right, we have all of our chicken tenders in our bowl here. So now we're just gonna begin to add our seasonings to marinate these. So first, we're just gonna add a little bit of salt, about 1/4 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, about 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, and then also about 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. We're just gonna sprinkle some in. Next, we're gonna add about 10 little dashes of hot sauce. No, that was more than 10 already. Really how much ever you need. We really like this hot sauce. And then last but not least, we're gonna add about 1.5 cups of buttermilk. Get them nice and coated. Grab my little spurtle, and you can do this in, a gallon size baggie or a bowl. But since we're gonna be making ours up today, they're not gonna be sitting overnight. I'm just gonna do it in a bowl and get it covered. But you do wanna stir everything to get it nice and incorporated. Get all of these flavors all over our chicken tenders. They are gonna be so flavorful when it's time to fry these up. And this really, by the way, will work with any chicken. If you want to do a whole chicken, you totally can, or if you just want to fry up some chicken legs, anything like that. We just like the chicken tenders the best, so that's kind of what I just stick with. All right, we have everything stirred in. I'm gonna take this over to the sink, get this covered, pop it in the fridge. You do want to let it marinate for at least a couple hours, if not overnight. I'll check back in with y'all here in just a little bit. So to fry up our chicken tenders, I like to use canola oil. You can really use any type of oil you prefer to fry them up. I'm also going to be using my Dutch oven. I just find that it holds heat really well and it's perfect for frying. So we're going to add in some oil to the bottom of the Dutch oven and get that heating up. And while that's doing so, let's go ahead and get our breading together for those tenders. All right, so for our breading for our chicken tenders, we're just gonna start with about 1 cup of just all-purpose flour. Then we're gonna add just a couple tablespoons of cornstarch. I love how cornstarch kind of makes your breading, just has that crispy factor to it. So as far as the seasonings we're gonna use for our breading, pretty much the same flavors we already have going on in there. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic powder. And that's the thing with frying chicken. You want to season every step. So season your marinade, then season your breading. We're also going to add a little bit of paprika. A lot of paprika. I had a comment the other day that said, your little bit and my little bit are 2 different things. So maybe that's right, I don't know. I'm going to add a pinch of salt in here. Our oil is still heating up. Let's give it a check. It's almost there. I generally like the oil between 350 and 375. That's the kind of sweet spot. So let's mix up our flour and our seasonings. And speaking of Sunday dinner, this is another one, especially since those chicken tenders have to marinate. Get them marinating before you go to church. You can even have your oil in your pot with the lid on it ready to go. When you get home, heat your oil up, fry them up. Perfect little Sunday dinner. All right, I have a tray over here just to place them after they get breaded. So of course, next we're just gonna bring out our chicken tenders. Kind of shake off the excess a little bit. Into the flour they go. This is technically my wet hand, my dry hand. Pat down that flour, shake off that excess flour, and then I'm just gonna bring them over here to my tray. I'm gonna do this until we've got pretty much all of our chicken tenders breaded up. Our oil is at about 400, but it will drop a few degrees when we start adding our chicken tenders. So I'm carefully gonna add chicken tenders right into our oil. And we don't wanna crowd our pot. So I'm only gonna add in about 3 or 4 at a time. I can add in one more little one. And these are gonna take probably about 5 to 7 minutes to be completely done. Once our chicken tenders reach 165, I'm just gonna bring them over here to this little tray with a wired rack on top. And I just have my oven on the lowest warm setting, and I just pop this in there to keep them warm until they're all done. By the way, if you do not have a meat thermometer, this is your best friend when you're really cooking any kind of meat, but especially fried chicken or something like that. I keep one right here in my drawer. And once they hit 165, I pull them out. I'll just pop this in the oven until I'm ready for the next batch. All right, y'all, our chicken tenders are done. I'm just gonna stack them up over here. I can hear that breading, a little piece fell off. Super crispy, some are a little bit more brown than others, but that is okay. That happens when you're frying at home. Your oil gets a little bit not warm enough and a little bit too hot. Either way, these are gonna be delicious. And just look at how many this makes. This was just 3 pretty small little chicken breasts, but this would feed a good amount of people. Serve it with some ranch on the side. I'm frying up a few tater tots. We're gonna feed this to the kids before they head off to activities tonight. Perfect little snack, perfect little dinner. Y'all need to try these. All right, so I got the fried chicken tenders down pat. Now you're probably thinking, Jen, we're gonna need some southern side dishes to go along with these chicken tenders. So I have videos on baked mac and cheese, green beans. I'm gonna link a few right here and down below. I'll meet you guys over there, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, y'all.